Hi everyone, you got FankenFoot coming at you early in the morning. I'm pretty tired. I've been sick. I've been taking NyQuil. I'm feeling kind of crappy, but hopefully that won't stop this video from sounding good. If I hack up along or something and do make some nasty noises, I'm sorry, but we'll try to get it done. So this was not my best war. It was also kind of a tough war. A lot of sort of engineered-ish looking bases here where they keep their defenses low, and you see they've got high walls. But they've got high heroes, and they're just really focusing on the things that try to keep their war weight down. The whole clan was filled with this on the Town Hall 9 level. So they had more 10s than us, and they had higher Town Hall 9. So it was a real tough war, and I'm surprised we did as well as we did. We almost pulled it out, but we didn't quite do it, and I unfortunately was no help. So this is the first base. And it's a very well designed base when you sit down and try to analyze what's going on and how to attack it. So he's got the town hall over here, opposite of pretty much everywhere where you'd want to attack, right? You've got the queen here, you've got a clan castle here, so you'd love to try to start the attack over here to get rid of these objectives, and that's completely opposite the town hall. Um, Big open spaces all around. I have no idea if there's Teslas in here or bombs or what, so it's kind of a wild card to attack. Um, Now he's got the town hall over here, and you think you might want to attack from this direction because of that, because then you're at least going to get 1 or 2 stars. But I want to go for the 3. I don't want the 2. I don't want the 1. So I'm going to try to come in with the objectives that are going with a plan that'll give me the 3 stars, not the 2. And so I ultimately elected to do the following. Um, I was going to drop a wizard here, let him take out this building. And then I've got these buildings over here. If I can get rid of these with some wizards, and there's nothing point defense wise that can be in the range of a wizard trying to attack this. You just have this mortar here and this mortar here. So a wizard here, and then another wizard here would take out these 2 buildings. And then what I can do is I can drop my clan castle bowlers on this building. They're going to wipe this out. They're going to wipe this out. And they're going to start to walk in this direction. And I can drop the queen behind them, just kind of mowing stuff down as they go through here. So as far as golems, I'm going to drop my first golem here. Just barely in range of this clan castle. And I'm going to make sure to drop him over here, and he's going to walk in this direction and pull the clan castle troops. And so then my bowlers are going to be tanked. Of course, I'm going to do this before I drop the bowlers. The bowlers are going to be tanked from all these defenses. This can't hurt them too much, just because it's not a strong point defense. It'll just get 1 or 2 shots off, and then it'll be done. They might even outwalk the thing. And I can drop the queen here with whatever comes out of the clan castle. So we'll have 2 poisons, and everything will just continue to move in this direction. And this is a clever little setup. You really want to get into this compartment here. But he's got his walls poking out just far enough that if you try to drop a wall breaker here, they're going to go to one of these walls here. They're not going to go in here. So you'd have to invest at least 6 wall breakers to get in there. So I took a look at the queen, and I see where her area of influence is. So I was thinking I could send Valkyries in here, and they'll take this out. And then wherever they move, they'll probably move in the direction of getting into this circle of the queen. So before I drop the Valkyries, I'm going to drop a golem, and he'll move his way in here. And then as soon as the Valkyries enter this circle, they're going to redirect, and they're going to go take the shortest path to the queen, which is going to be through this wall right here. So that's going to be much more effective than wall breakers. And then once they're in here, they're inside the base. The bowlers and golems would be behind them, and they'll start wrecking these buildings here. And so the Valks are going to want to move into the base here. Now, what I should have done is I should have brought a jump spell with me to keep the Valks moving in the direction that I want them to move. Because I was worried about this, but I wasn't clear of mind, I guess, to think about this. A lot of trash buildings out here. So if the Valks go in this direction, they're likely to bust through that wall. If I can just get them to move in this direction with a jump spell, they'll take out any Teslas that might be in here, and they'll move on to the king. And then once all that's done, most of the space is going to be racked, and we'll just have these over here, or these buildings left over here, and that's probably about good enough The hogs can probably take all those out, all that's left. So that was the plan, and now let's see how it all fell apart. Come on, I pushed play. There we go. So, out comes the first wizard. Out comes the second wizard anytime now. There it is. I wanted him to direct to the mortar, but it doesn't matter. They'll take that out, then they'll take the mortar out. As soon as the mortar's gone, which has got to be gone, because it could mess with the direction your golems are going to move. Out comes the golem, and a golem of all things comes out of the clan castle. Now, I think what this guy was thinking was that golems pop and do damage to whatever's right next to them when they die. So they're a high hit point, and if you send a bunch of Valks into a golem, if they're not at pretty high health, that golem could wipe them completely out. I've had that happen before. But I've got a queen that's going to take care of the golem, so I should be in good shape. So I hold on to my poison spells, drop the bowlers, who are probably going to drop rocks on his butt, and that'll be the end of him. And drop the queen to help move things along. And I go ahead and I know these guys are moving in this direction, so I went ahead and dropped my golem over here to start tanking. I dropped the Valks. Queen's firing on the golem. And the Valks went in this direction. So here's where I lost my foresight. The Valks are going to stand at the edge of this building and attack it, which is just outside of the range of this building. And then they're going to want to move in this direction right here. And so they're never going to walk into this little circle that the queen's walking into. But I've got my bowlers and queen coming in this direction, so eventually they're going to take out these buildings, and eventually the Valks are going to want to redirect. But I think I lost patience. Oh, this is where I got real scared, when the Valks started moving in this direction. So I went ahead and dropped some wall breakers. Luckily got them to bust into that wall, but now my Valks are going schizophrenic. They're still ignoring the queen. They finally see, some of them see the queen here, so they're redirecting, but these guys are hitting a giant bomb, and so now I'm in really, really bad shape. I've got my Valks distributed all over the place. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're running back and forth. They're acting crazy. And then, of course, my bowlers move up into this direction, because they went into this compartment instead of this compartment. And I've got very little left to steer my Valks. The bowlers are supposed to come in here and wipe out these buildings, but now that they're there, I've got Valks beaten up on the wall over here, not moving into the center of the base. So things are just not going according to plan, and I'm trying to figure out what to do about that. I'm trying to keep things going with heals. I still got bowlers in the middle, which is good, but I'm just running out of time. So I decided to go ahead and drop my hogs here, which is not ideal, because they're going to run into this king, and of course they hit a giant bomb just to further my bad luck and decisions. And I've got one last heal. I drop it here, but I've got to get through a lot of defenses here. And what's another thing you've noticed? No Teslas have popped up yet, so that's not good. So I send my hogs in. I drop a poison spell on the skeletons, and lo and behold, they move in this direction, and what would pop up but a Tesla farm? So now I've sent my hogs into the king and a Tesla farm, which is the absolute worst thing I could have done. And the Tesla farm just cooks the little hogs, and the smell of bacon erupts, and I've now got Valks running along on the outside, bowlers running along with them. At least they're finally going to take out the king, but not after he takes out 3 bowlers. And things are moving in this direction. So I think, in hindsight, if I had been a little bit more patient in dropping the hogs, I might have been able to pull this out. Because even though these walls are high, their defenses aren't maxed. And even though my king is down, I've been able to 3-star bases like this before. This is just a very crafty, well-designed little base. Had this not been a fresh hit and I knew where the Teslas were, I might have pulled it out. But just a well-designed base. I just couldn't quite get it. And at least I got 2, barely. But, you know, we needed 3 to win. So that was that attack. Next attack. Where was it? Alright. So my plan for this base, so, you know, their defenses aren't quite max. They've got high-level walls. They've got mid-range heroes here for Town Hall 9. Again, a base I probably should be able to 3-star. So my plan was, well, I didn't really have a plan. I wasn't ready to go until about a few minutes before war was ending, and I was at home, and kids were screaming, so I kind of was shooting from the hip here. And that's never a good thing. But, again, a pretty decent design base. He's got a clan castle buried in here pretty well. And so I decided to come in from this direction. And I always say never attack from the corner, because you've got a high likelihood that your troops are going to go schizophrenic and go left or right and walk around the base. So that's why we never attack into a corner. But what I was thinking was I can drop a golem here, and then I can drop hogs somewhere around this archer tower here, and eventually they're going to redirect to one of these defenses. If I can drop them just right. Actually, I can't remember if I dropped them here or here. But I was trying to drop them just right where the wizard tower wouldn't start firing on them. Because if the golem's over here and I drop the hogs in this direction, the wizard tower's going to be firing over here. And the hogs will be out of the range of it, and they'll take out this building and take out this building, and then probably move to this cannon, which is barely in range. I thought I dropped them over here, though. I guess we'll have to see. I haven't really looked at this replay yet to see exactly what went wrong. But then you can drop wall breakers, and my plan was to drop them right here, but that was stupid because the hogs are going to take out these buildings. I got nothing to draw troops in here, so that was a mistake. But I'll drop a hog, take out what's in the clan castle because it's got Valkyries and baby dragons, and that'll be very bad to try to attack with Valkyries. It's just not going to work because the baby dragon's going to drop fireballs in their heads and they're going to burn to death. And eventually the Valkyries would have to move in this direction and get in range of that queen, which, look at that. What a bad place to attack from. The queen's not going to be in range. They're not going to move into the range of the queen unless they go all the way over here, which there's not a whole lot of buildings to draw them in that direction. But I remember this. The reason I really wanted to attack from over here is because there's a Tesla farm here. So again, smart design. Queen's over here, Tesla farm's over here, so you've got two competing objectives in a clan castle that's just sort of centralized and hard to get to. So I was going to drop a golem here and start the funnel and hopefully move in this direction. And in hindsight, it's a really bad plan. I just didn't think it through very well. So let's see. Come on. Here comes the first golem. Here comes the second golem. Wizards starting the funnel. Hogs come out. And it was very important. I didn't want the golem to be in range of the queen, so that's why I dropped him over here. So I sent the hogs on this archer tower. And they take it out. Move on to this mortar. And they pull the clan castle troops, thank goodness. But here's a mistake that I made. I have got a golem over here. I have got a golem over here. After the hogs are gone, I'm not sure which one they're going to go for. So I don't know where to drop my poison. I'm going to drop the queen to try to help get the clan castle troops, but I don't know where they're going to go. So I missed the poison spell. They come down here, wipe that golem. The Valkyries just tear him to shreds. They go through this poison over here. And so now, I must have missed it. At some point in time, I thought I would drop wall breakers here to bust into this compartment. And they try to go for this cannon here. But unfortunately, at some point in time, I did that, and I must have missed with the wall breakers. I don't know exactly what happened. Must have been a mortar shot or something that took them out, because that wall is still standing. I dropped my Valkyries, and instead of trying to go for this cannon, they're going to run all the way over here and start attacking this guy. And they're going to start the walk of shame around the base, where they're just going to get pummeled with defenses. And I didn't have much of a clear frame of mind to figure out what to do here, so I think I decided, well, let me drop a jump spell here. Maybe, just maybe, I'll get lucky and they'll jump into this base instead of continuing around the ring here. And I dropped the bowlers behind them to at least help them get through all this. So there comes the jump spell. Valkyries completely ignore it and just keep walking around the base. But the bowlers decide to walk in, so I drop a rage to try to help them take care of the Tesla farm, and a heal right behind them to keep them up. But the problem is they've got nothing tanking for them. The Valks aren't in there tanking. They're running around the base like psychopaths. And so I got, eventually the bowlers are just going to run out of health. See that Expo's picking them off. And I dropped the final heal spell on them, which is bad because now I've got all this to try to take out with my hogs, and that's just not going to work. I just don't have enough hogs to do it. Not without a couple heal spells. And finally they hit a giant bomb, and I've got no heals left, so giant bomb plus the mortar shot wipes out my bowlers. The hog's ground hitting stuff. That's my hog hitting stuff noise. Clank, 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 clank. And they're doing an admirable job, but they just don't have enough. They don't have enough to get through the rest of the base. So, poor planning, poor execution. Didn't quite get it done. And that's unfortunate. Because even without a king, I should have been able to take this base. Because I've taken bases like that before. But anyway, that's it. You live and learn, and you try to do it better the next time. And so that's it. So we'll see you whenever the next war ends, and we'll have some replays to go through. Until then.